Let us please listen to the Royal College of Nursing, or the RCN, as they tell us how RCN is actively supporting and advocating for our nurses. Here to tell us more about the RCN, please welcome RCN's Development Officer, Ms. ALICE Telfer.
Hi, thanks very much, and thank you very much for inviting me this afternoon. It's great to be here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the RCN and what it has to offer. It's very much a whistle-stop tour because it's, as you'll see when I sort of start talking, that we do an awful lot. And the more that I look at my presentation and sort of preparation for this, the more I've realised just how much we do and how much there is to talk about in such a short space of time. And I will try and leave a little bit of time for questions as well. So I think Roger's going to help with the slides. So if could maybe go to my presentation, that would be great. Lovely. So as I've said there, it's a very brief overview. It's funny because when I was thinking about preparing for this, I was thinking about that you'd all be in like a big conference room, but of course we're not. We're all over the world by the sounds of it, in our homes, in our dining rooms, our kitchens, maybe with friends, maybe in a garden if it's warm somewhere. Certainly not warm enough to be here today, but thanks very much for inviting me. I've worked for the RCN now for over 25 years, and it's been great. I mean, I've seen a lot of change in the RCN and also in the health service during those times. But as I think with everybody, we've never had a year like this one. But the RCN is still very much here for its members, and also the members are here for the RCN as well. As I'll talk a little bit about how it is important that we all sort of stay involved with the work of the RCN. So if we could move on to my next slide, please, Roger. Just in case any of you haven't come across us before, we're the world's largest trade union and professional body. And what that means is that we're by your side at every step of your nursing journey, from when you join the RCN perhaps as a student or partway through your career, right to the beyond. We have a lot of retired members, we have active retired members, and basically we're here with a wide range of employment related services to help you during your working life, but also professional services too, and educational services, which will sort of help in continuing professional development and things like revalidation and so on. But we're also, as you'll see, very much a campaigning body and a lobbying body as well, and are here to try not just to change the experience of nurses working in the UK, but also internationally, and also to impact obviously on the services for patients and for clients, for service users. So we could move on to the next one, please. Our members are registered nurses and midwives, nursing students and trainee nursing associates, and also the whole range of nursing support workers, which may include healthcare assistants, nursing assistants. It could be anyone who has their work delegated to them by a nurse. Thank you. We can move to the next one. Just a little bit about the history of the RCN. We celebrated our centenary. It was 4 years ago now, although it doesn't really seem that long ago. We had, so those of you who were around and members at the time, I remember we had a number of events and activities. But going back to 1916, the RCN started with just 34 people. 34 women got together and set up the College of Nursing. By 1918, there were already 13,000 members. We became royal in 1939 when we got the title bestowed by King George the Sixth, and the Queen is our I think it's like patron. I'm not quite sure of the correct word, but it's great to be royal. I used to work for Royal Mail before I worked for the RCN, so I like to have royal in my job title. In 1960, the membership was extended to include men. So had a membership of 30,000 in 1939. It began to increase rapidly with the admission of men and also students in 1970, and also the enrolled nurse as well, which was a role that I think stopped probably back in the 90s. I can't remember when, but it was a course where people did a 2-year training course to become an enrolled nurse. So membership increased significantly then, and then in 1977 we became a trade union. So as well as being the professional side, we also brought on the trade union side, which is a major part of our work today. 1995 was a big year because that was the year where Congress voted to amend the no strike clause, which means that under certain circumstances and after following quite a detailed procedure, a detailed process, that RCN members may decide to take industrial action and may decide to go on strike. Big decision, massive decision for nurses to take, and it was last year, I think it was 2019, again it seems like quite a long time ago now, was the first time that we ever invoked that when nurses in Northern Ireland went on strike, when they took industrial action over pay. 1998 was another important year for the college when we opened our advice line for members, RCN Direct, and that's flourished ever since and provides a whole range of services and is a gateway to the services we offer. The membership widened further in 2001 with the admission of level 3 NVQ healthcare support workers, healthcare assistants. For those of you who have perhaps just sort of got involved with health service in the UK recently, the NVQ was what was called a national vocational qualification, and it was something that people in health and social care could do. We've widened the membership further now, so now basically anyone who works in healthcare for a nurse who has their work delegated to them by a nurse can join the RCN, which is brilliant. And we're celebrating our first Nursing Support Worker Day next month on the 21st of November. So look out for some information on that. We now have around 450,000 members. So we've gone from 34 people back just over 100 years ago to 450,000 today, which makes us a massive organisation, a great organisation, and an organisation that can do a lot of good in terms of campaigning and lobbying, as well as supporting each other. If I could have the next slide, please, Roichi. Just a little bit up there about RCN Direct. It's the gateway to the RCN, open 7 days a week for 12 hours a day, 365 days a year. And you can access that by just going on www.rcn.org.uk/direct. If you're interested, if you haven't joined the RCN and are interested in joining or interested in finding out more, just Google RCN and you'll get to all of this very easily. So if I could have the next one, please. Other ways to find information by going to the website. Also, you can keep in touch via Facebook and Twitter. You don't have to be a member of Twitter to get onto the RCN Twitter sites. I mean, I'm not a member of Twitter, but I've just had a quick look just to see what we've got on at the moment, and you can access everything. And there's a lot of good stuff. We have our own London Twitter as well as the RCN general one. And we've also got a dedicated YouTube channel now with films on that. So if I could have the next slide, please. As I mentioned, we are a trade union, and we offer a lot of support throughout your nursing career, from student right through to beyond retirement. And we offer support in many different areas. We look at personal support, well-being, also legal issues, and we also offer financial discounted deals and financial services. We go on to the next slide. I'll just say a little bit more about some of the specific support. We have a great organisation within the RCN called Member Support Services, and that has the RCN's counselling service, which offers telephone counselling to members who may need that type of support. We have careers guidance. There's a whole load of information on the website on things like interviews, CVs, how to make the most, how to make career decisions, how to decide, where you want to go next, what to do if you feel like you maybe sort of got stuck somewhere. And as part of that, we also offer careers counselling as well. We have a very well established immigration advice service with immigration officers who are skilled and expertise in that area. So that's a great source of advice if people are thinking of coming to the UK to work, or if there are issues with visas and ability to work when you're here. Our welfare rights and guidance people, they can give a lot of support for people who are maybe having financial problems about where they might be able to get help from, and things like housing issues. I was just talking to a member I'm representing a couple of days ago, and she just received a massive electricity bill for £4,000. Not sure where it's come from, how she's rung it up, but she rang up our welfare rights people, and they're helping her with that. And there's also support as well for people who become injured, ill or disabled through work or maybe outside of work. Lots of support from each other, but also there's help and guidance on things like legal options and things like that should anything befall somebody in the workplace. Could move on to the next one, please. Representation. So in addition to those member services that I mentioned there, we also have a network of representatives in the workplace. We have stewards who would help in employment issues, safety reps who are really having a busy time at the moment with some of the issues around COVID. And we also have learning reps who can help guide you through career development and educational activities. We also have a whole, fleet of RCN officers who are there if there's nobody in the workplace who can support you, or if you have a more complicated case. And that's some of the type of work that I do, where I represent members, work with members, and help them through perhaps disciplinary issues, grievances, if they're going to be made redundant, if they've got any concerns about their pay, their holiday, any concerns about the workplace. We're getting a lot of members coming to us at the moment with concerns around working with COVID, particularly back in March and April, but also now we're seeing members who need support because of the difficulties they've worked, the difficult situations they've worked in, and some of the traumatic sort of things they've experienced in the workplace. So that's something where we can and we do help and support people. If we could go to the next slide, please. We also offer legal support in certain situations. If employment issues can't be resolved in the workplace, it is possible we might be able to support you in an employment tribunal. There's also support for when people need it at the Nursing and Midwifery Council. If a member has been reported either for conduct reasons or for health reasons, we can support you through that as well. Could I have the next slide, please? Education and development. There's a lot of information online, a lot of interactive continuing professional development resources, great deal of stuff on revalidation, things that can help you with your revalidation. There's clinical resources, professional development resources, as well as all the employment resources. And the great thing is you can access it any time of the day or night. So if you have a sleepless night, you can get up and have a look at the RCN website, or if you're working and living in a different time zone, you can access it as well. We also run a lot of events. There are national events sort of throughout the year, and also a lot of local events. In London, we do try to put on education, seminars, conferences, sort of get-togethers, networks, and so on. And normally we would do those in our brilliant office just off Oxford Street in Cavendish Square. But at the moment, everything we're doing is virtual. So our Black History Month celebrations are ongoing. There's a nutrition event on Tuesday, which if anyone is a member and is interested can sign up to. We've also had the Rising Stars, which has been, it's something we've done for the last, I think this is the 3rd year we've done it, where people can nominate their colleagues, their friends, anyone who's made an impact with Black and Asian minority ethnic, either with staff, with colleagues, with the work that you do with patients, and have really made an impact in the workplace or outside of the workplace sometimes as well. And that's our 24 Rising Stars are all on Twitter at the moment. We've got our Autumn of Learning coming up. There's an event advertised on the 6th of November, which is on the website if anyone wants to sign up for that. And we've also got other events that'll be coming up on the website shortly. I'm just checking the time. Have I got a few more minutes? So could I have the next slide, please? World's largest nursing library. In normal times, you can actually go to it, particularly if you're working in London, very easy to get to, but most of it's online. So if I could have the next slide, please. We've got over 56,000 books, over 1,000 e-books and e-journals, and you can make requests by phone, email, and virtual inquiries. So do access the library. The physical library may be closed at the moment, but it's still very much open. And if I could have my next slide, please. So I just wanted to say a little bit about campaigning, influencing and lobbying, because the RCN isn't just about the services we can offer you, it's also about what we do as an organisation and how we can influence government and healthcare within this country and also overseas as well. Some of our sort of high profile campaigns at the moment, we had a very successful one that we started I think in the last year or so, which came to success this year, which was on removing the immigration surcharge. We are currently, we've got a big campaign on pay, looking for a pay rise, and on safe staffing to make sure that the vacancies that are apparent throughout the UK are filled, and that people can work in safe and well-staffed areas. And within London as well, we're doing a lot of lobbying and campaigning on the cost of living, recognising it's expensive to live in London. And we also have our inclusion solution, which is looking at ensuring that BAME colleagues and also colleagues with disabilities and women and gay and lesbian colleagues are all included in the workplace. A lot of emphasis on that, on inclusion and ensuring that people can come to work and be themselves and get the most out of their job. And as you heard, we have Yvonne Coghill. We're very lucky to have Yvonne as our Deputy President, who's done a lot of work particularly around race, as you've heard earlier today. Very last, second last slide, could just quickly flick to that. That just says a little bit more about what we have in terms particularly of the financial benefits of joining the RCN. And then just onto my last slide, which is just many thanks again for inviting me, and if there's time, if anyone has any questions. Thank you. I've just realised as well that my chair is in the background. Usually I'm a bit closer to the screen, but with this computer I had to sit back and forgot to tidy the room before.
Don't worry, it looks fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alison Telfer. And thank you once again to the RCN for supporting PNA UK in our very first convention. I think we got some question here for you. One is, how do members can become representatives?
Oh, that's a great question. That's just the question I wanted to hear. If you're interested in becoming a rep, depending on where you work, I mean, the first thing is to get in touch with your local branch. Go on to the RCN's website And there's information on becoming a rep there. So it'll tell you about what types of rep we have, how you what the jobs are that you'd have to do, and how to get involved. So have a look, just check if it's for you. Then you can either get in touch with the secretary from your branch, and depending on where you work, you would just go to either the region or the country, click on that, and that will take you to the different branches, so it can tell you who to contact. Alternatively, probably the quicker way of doing it is to ring RCN direct, let them know you're interested in becoming a rep, and then they'll put you in touch with your region. If you work for the London region, then you can get in touch with me and I'll sort you out.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Miss Alison. And I think
for my email address to be shared if you follow up.
Yeah, lovely. And I think if they need more information, we can always go to the website. But for me, the library sounds interesting.
We definitely want people to become reps, so absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Alison, and it's a pleasure for us to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.